Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. 3 o'clock location. We got Unco starting as the blue Terran at the bottom left hand corner. We got Double starting as the magenta Protoss. This is on Dominator, which I think is bad news for Double. I actually like Terran's odds on this map, mostly because in the mid game, the mines with the pizza slices, as we affectionately call them, maybe we should call them like rays or radians or something like that, because it's kind of like, if you look at the middle as like a star or like a sun, it's just like, how many are there? Actually, I'll figure it out later. Anyway, point being, when you get mines out on the field, like along these edges, even with an observer overhead, you can get the misfire, which just takes a lot longer period of time to take down the spider mines, at which point vision is to the Terran's advantage, times to the Terran advantage. There's a lot of sandbagging you could do on this map as Terran, is I guess what I want to make a point of. And it is recallable, like you can get some pretty good recalls into the main, maybe some good shuttle and reaver whatnots, but I feel like the mine placement, where it just sees a lot of that incoming, and so it kind of ends up doing double duty overall. Pylon at an odd position here for Double. Is he going to drop a high ground? That's a very odd placement. We'll see what that turns into. Game 1, Unco, by the way, if you missed game 1, very interesting one. Double showing some ferocity, where I thought he was going to be more of a low APM Protoss player. His APM looking a lot stronger in game 2. Maybe taking a minute to wake up. We are seeing a barracks first opener. So yeah, gateway blockading on the high ground. That might be to provide, this might be strategically to provide a smaller gap for vultures to try to cycle through, because this is an inverted ramp. And if you lose control of that ramp side, it can be very, very challenging. Both directions. In the meantime, Double scouting the 12 o'clock location. Gas getting grabbed here from Unco in the midst of this, and he's sending out his SCV to provide some scouting as well. We'll see also if Double decides to go Zealot first, or if he's going to skip that first Zealot to try to get beefier and faster Dragoons out. Game 1, he actually ended up in a pretty good scenario where with the aggression, it was Zealot Goon Goon, and with the early game aggression was able to get his Dragoons in place to cut off that early game Vulture, which is extremely important for Terran, but Unco able to flip it right back around by grabbing an aggressive and risky third base. Meantime, SCV is scouting things. Probe making its way. It looks like it was second scout for both players. Initial Marine might be able to get, so if this Marine runs for the gap here, and this Marine fans out this direction, might turn into a kill. Meantime, 244 factory, not too bad. I think 242, 243. It's like the super speed you're looking for. It looks like that probe diving back in, hoping it can cycle back around. Pretty good micro here from Unco, actually. Boxing the probe, so he's almost guaranteed. Yeah, got the kill right there with the double shot. 3 Marines are out in the field. Dragoon, sorry, Zealot, marching his way across. We already have an SCV in position to drop that bunker. I think learning lessons from game 1. And if they just spread, they should be in a good position. The SCV not getting the linebacker, so that should be 1 dead Marine. Well, never mind. Some decent micro here. And the Zealot gets nothing. In the meantime, the SCV might get out with its life. If these Marines actually step forward into this, never mind. Dragoon able to get the shot. It's going to go ahead and go with the continuation attack. Unco, actually 4 Marines constructed here. Yeah, and repositioning along that edge of the pizza slice, just in case that Dragoon wanted to get overly aggressive. The natural expansion dropping, despite the bunker investment. The command center ending up ahead of the Nexus by a small margin. And I think Unco will take it. In the meantime, we do have a machine shop queued up. So skipping the initial Vulture. Is he just going to go straight Siege Tank? Yeah, just going to go likely straight Siege Tank. Let's see if he is going to invest. Actually killed off one of his own Marines to free up some supply in the build order as well. Interesting. Make sure he gets another SCV out potentially. My next question is okay, he's got the initial Siege Tank. Is he going to queue up a second one, or is he actually going to go into Siege in the space of this? Or is he just going to fold it right back into Vulture? It looks like right now he's got another Vulture queued up, so probably going to go Vulture Mines on the turnaround. Double playing passively. 2 Dragoons chasing off that SCV on the front. Robotics, so we got 1 gate, expand into robotics. Double playing a little bit more aggressively this time. And I think Unco has wind of it as well. And let's see if he's dropped a second factory in the midst of this. Granted, that's kind of typical for Terran, but I'm wondering if Unco, upon looking at this and only seeing the 2 Dragoons on the front, is going to think, okay, maybe I can sneak a little bit of aggression out here. He could also pull off what he did last map and opt for an additional scout. Looks like 2 additional gateways. I'm wondering if this is becoming the more standard Protoss meta in the space of this. Observatory on the front, 2 additional gateways underneath. Vulture now out on the map as mine's almost complete. Anti-DT missile turret just in case here in the space. The Vulture has managed to get on top of that pizza slice and sees the edge of Dragoons. Double, I think they have equal vision, but isn't going to press a mine present left off. And what would typically be the third for Protoss left there. I will be shocked if Double goes for this expansion. This expansion is just an absolute... It's in Death Valley right here. You got this ridge here, you got that ridge there, and you can see where assaults are very easy. And on this lip line, you can just drop little spider mines along the edge. Very easy for Terran to bust, very easy for Protoss to bust on the opposite edge as well. Yeah, Unco just making sure, like, go ahead, take the mineral only if you want it. And also it's mineral only. It just feels like you get 7 patches and a risk opportunity. Probe cycling out. Wiped out at the 9 o'clock. Observer making its way forward. Might get pushed back from that turret. We do have that second gas in play and the engineering bay floating out to the top just to see if any sort of Reaver was going to be in action. But Double playing this off 3 gate. It's interesting going for 3 gate rather than 2, but still playing towards a quick third base. Probe making its way out now. A little bit slow as far as that third base grab. And I think that's going to give opportunities for Unco, who is surging up to 4 factories, has dropped the second machine shop. Siege check now in play for him as well. Also dropping an academy. Investing a lot of gas here. +1 weapons, a little bit delayed because of that, but not by a large margin. And we do have a support bay underneath. Potentially get Reavers alongside that shuttle to provide some form of defense. No pylon wall to the north here from Double. Instead, just going to hold Dragoons there right this second. The Observer is going to spot Siege Tanks moving out. Is Unco going to go for the expansion of death? I certainly hope not. Right now, he is checking out top right. The problem with the top right-hand base is it's just an extreme distance to reinforce. The advantage of the right-hand base is it's ramped up. And so if Protoss try to engage from a northern angle and you have Siege Tanks in place, it can be challenging to engage into. 4th base here from Double, so going to play economically greedy. There are 4 factories. It looks like a quick third already being built, and the Observer spots it, which was the decision tree there from Double. The Observer wasn't pushed out of the base, so able to sit here and see that command center in place, so knows that he's going to be safer grabbing this Nexus. Yeah, I will be shocked actually if Unco grabs this mineral only at the near side. I just feel like that's a really hard base to defend and hold. And granted, spider mines are great here, but we don't have a lot of spider mines out in the field as of yet. Unco actually being very, very Vulture light in a lot of aspects up to this stage. Double this time with a pretty solid supply pacing in the space of this. Vulture speed about to finish, so let's see if Unco gets a little bit more aggressive this time. And yeah, Unco gonna go for the Valley of Death expansion. Let's see if he ends up regretting it down the line. Phalanx of Dragoons at the natural expansion. Very gateway light, so he's got the 4, has played very aggressively up to this stage economically, but needs to get some sort of additional tech in the midst of this. Missed a single Zealot, by the way, dropping to the back line. Man, a little bit off from my observing and commentating. It looks like there was a decent Reaver shot because the probes getting cleared. That was a very late drop from Double. And he's lucky he got the Reaver and the shuttle back out. We do have a second Reaver here in the space. He is now getting the gateway flood So sitting in a pretty good position, actually. He just needs to get the gateways and additional tech in the midst of this. Unco behind economically, theoretically, just because of that last assault. But 3 bases versus 4, and this 4th base has been up for quite some time. Vulture might be able to catch some probes mid-map. A Reaver dropping in the middle here. That was a weird dud. The Vulture's going to be able to maybe get some damage here top right. The probes can kind of back off. Whoop. It's going to be dead Dragoon along that edge. Double trying to flee these probes out. Reaver coming up here to go ahead and try to even things. Dragoons dying on the front and kind of a suicide attack. These Dragoons waiting for their grave as well. And Unco getting really good value out of these Vultures scooping in. Some Dragoons trying to reinforce. Waiting to see where that shuttle is. It's kind of trailing, but in the meantime, all of that good work that Reaver and Shuttle did earlier has been more or less negated by what looked like maybe 10 Vultures? I don't even know that it was that. Seemed like it was just 8 Vultures moving top left and then cycling all the way along the left-hand side of the map. And now Double in a situation where he's on 4 bases, but he's below Unco's 3 base worker count. So the saturation will help a little bit, but otherwise hurting a little bit. Is he going to go for the Valley of Death expansion? Fortunately, those Dragoons earlier, whew, they don't know how lucky they got. Maybe they do now that the Observer has spotted things. Science facility almost complete. We do have a command center queued up here for Unco to go ahead and grab that top right-hand expansion. Double has 4 Nexus to get his probe count resurged, but he's still only sitting on 6 gateways. Sorry, 7 gateways. And hasn't really filtered in with a lot of additional Zealots, or sorry, a lot of additional Reavers, or High Templar or something along those lines. Just now getting Zealot leg speed. Another drop, by the way. I was late to this one, was able to wipe out the turret. A nice pullback here from Uncle. The Reavers both dying though, so what Reavers there were are now off the map. No third machine shop as of yet. We are seeing a solid late game factory count. Command center almost completed. A bunch of Dragoons. A few Zealots. 5 Zealots. That's very Zealot light. Might try to run from the gate. If they come along the northern... If they back up and come from the north, this is actually a great attack angle. But they need to back up and do so. This Observer, by the way, sees all the reinforcements at the near side. Part of the problem, they don't have any High Templar backup. They don't have any Observer backup. Probe trying to make its way top left. A latent Vulture able to wipe that out. Double is moving to the north, but I think that might just be an overcommitment of forces to deal with that Vulture. Still hasn't grabbed his 4th gas, but is filling in the gateway count a bit. Unfortunately for him, this is coming out somewhat late. And so Unco securing that 4th base, hasn't gotten SCVs up there, but shortly he's going to take the high ground in the space in between and kind of fan out. That's going to make it a lot harder for Double as far as to find a concentrated attack vector. Vulture has been cleared. Did that probe die earlier to that Vulture going top left? Big engagement opportunity. SCVs pushing up and Double trying to fill in the gap. We have some Zealots looking for a Zealot bomb, but Double backing up. Yeah, the Zealots are not in front of the army, and we've got a bunch of mines that were just planted underneath. He's got Double Shuttle. He could attack top right. There's nothing defending that right this second, but doesn't have vision, is maybe overly concerned about defending top left. Army completely spotted. Unco moving into the gap. Zealots now dropping in, not getting any mine drag, going very deep with the bombs though. And it's allowing these Dragoons to carve out the top, but this is again misfire rate over the wall. Unco's army kind of split in 2, but again the misfire, you can see where the misfire on the mines keeping Double back for a longer period of time, so Unco able to push up, and in the meantime Unco's got this base up that Double could raid, but just he's not aware of it. Doesn't have the vision. The Dragoons could just walk up there and likely wipe that up. Unco playing a little bit more aggressive with these siege shanks. By the way, +2 weapons, +1 armor, about finished. We also have, interesting, Argus talisman upgrading. I think that was a misclick. Because this is for Dark Archon energy, and we have no dark... I think that was a big misclick here on Double's part. And this is really going to hurt him, actually, because I think he thought he clicked the High Templar energy upgrade, and instead he's just going to have more energy for mind control, and that's more of a meme thing you do. Or I guess sometimes a BGX or Zero Clutter or Big Money Map sort of play. You capture your enemy's worker unit and build your own army. So unfortunately, the big advantage of that is your Zealots nearly spawn having enough energy for a Psy Storm. And here that's just not going to be the case. Could be he just wanted to... felt like he was going to win one to summon it. Going to engage. High Templar looking to find an opportunity to drop. Not a lot of ground cover, so Double going to engage, bleed off some troops and just back off. Unco going for now the 1 o'clock position. Again, still not covered. You got this entire ramp area where the Zealots could just mosey up there and wipe it out. And instead, Double distracted and overly focused. I don't even know that he knows that those bases in the top right are functional. This time, the Zealots in good position, able to get a good forward engagement. The Dragoons still on the low ground as far as the follow-up. High Templar have landed, but no Psy Storm, and they're going to get picked off by the Vultures before they're able to land any storms. So Double kind of slamming his head into a wall a little bit here and not getting some easy victories top right or at the 1 o'clock location with a little bit of an army rotation. Now, Unco out on the field with the 20 supply lead. I do believe he's got the upgrade lead as well. Yeah, just +1 weapons. Where does that Zealot think he was going? Double shuttles making the way across. We got some High Templar and some Zealots. Repositioning that no have to play defensively against Unco here. Unco is, I believe, spotted everything top left. SCV is now making it to the 1 o'clock location. The Vultures positioning forward, the siege tanks underneath. All of this is happening on low ground. Double not really utilizing the high ground to low ground advantage on the corner, and instead ceding it to Unco at multiple directions. And now having to retreat, and is going to end up losing this 12 o'clock base as a result. Observer's going to be able to spot the army, but is helpless to do a lot about it. Science Vessel moving forward, but we don't have any Arbiters. Now we have some Dark Templar being produced. Are we going to see? I don't think we're going to see mind control. I don't know that what Dark Archons would provide here. Feedback. Wipe out the science vessel, maybe a little bit. A little bit of an over-dedication of troops here top left. Bunch of mines and just 2 troops underneath. The Dark Templar immediately evaporating, by the way. Some Psy Storm trying to... Wow, that was a lot. We got 1 Siege Tank out of 4 Psy Storms. 5 Psy Storms, 2 Siege Tanks. Not great trades, but it looks like because Unco dedicated so much of this attack grouping, might get defended as Double making his way in. Some Zealots are going to spawn interior. You've got the reinforcements from the rear. If Double can group up the troops, might be able to save this. Uncle still ahead on supply. He's up on bases. He's really doing well economically. The probes huddling in the top left. Reinforcements are cut off for Unco. Looks like some mines did manage to get landed, and the science vessel has been picked off underneath. This is high ground to low ground. So it looks like, yeah, Double is going to be able to save this, but another group of reinforcements now making the way right behind Double's move out. Siege tank going to get cleared up. The Nexus still stands. The natural expansion was wiped out. This is still looking bad for Double overall as he's expending troops. And just ended up losing a lot. He's got 3 shuttles, but not only 2 of them are filled with anything. This could be a brilliant Psy Storm. Good Psy Storm right there. So it looks like the siege tanks are going to get wiped out and pushed back. Double trying to go ahead and reestablish his economy by grabbing that low side mineral only of death once again. His natural expansion still has a bit of resources, but the main is mined out for both players. Double charging forward now. I was not expecting him. Woof, and brilliant side storm, but wow, that side storm. I thought that was not going to be worth it, but somehow that side storm able to make its way through and pick off a lot of siege tanks. So what was looking like a disastrous trade turned into an A-OK trade, but the problem is the economy of Unco is still smothering, and he's macroing up a storm behind this. Dragoons and Zealots queued up. We have reinforcements peeling out. The Zealots trying to get mine drags into the Vulture lines, able to do nominally. This is still a lot of metal. The Vulture is able to wipe things. Yeah. Double just not able to get reinforcements in to defend, and now Unco has another shot at the top left, and this entire time these bases in the top right have been untouched. Effectively, Unco, by attacking in the 12 o'clock, is allowing his aggression to be his defense, cutting the Gordian knot. Some shuttles offered up here to Unco, maybe to free up some supply for Double. Not that he didn't have the supply gap. The probes huddled on the assimilator to try to keep themselves alive. We have a skeleton crew inside, but those siege tanks are quite softened. Dark Templar looking to queue up and maybe save the day here. But that shimmer was spotted immediately. Both Dark Templar wiped out. Now the Zealots making their way in. But level 3 weapon Goliaths blockading the way, and that should be it. The gateway's now unpowered. Top left is wrecked, and Unco has nearly double the supply, which is appropriate given the names of the players. Unco with a, I'm going to call that a manor command center right there. This is an unnecessary grab here. Just kind of plopping it down to, that's kind of a why haven't you left the game command center in the midst of this. More reinforcements trying to make the way up. Double does still have a bit of a bank, but he's just in too sizable a deficit. Looks like he's able to clear out the siege tanks, but now those Goliaths are trapped. Reinforcements making their way across. Do they have the observer support? No. And bleeding to siege tanks. Oh, EMP on top of it. Going to make them even softer targets. Trying to make their way back across. More vultures streaming in to put emphasis here. +2 armor just about to finish. More siege tanks making their way top left. And we got 2 shuttles. We got 3 High Templar in there. That's not going to be enough to retake. The Nexus trying to get regrabbed. And Unco going ahead and grabbing bottom right. He's basically maxed, so he just needs to kind of muster his troops and send them. He could probably A-move a lot of this. Zealots dropping pretty good mine drag. I think that High Templar did make its way back into that shuttle. Shuttle's now gone, though, with the High Templar. Unco finishing this 1 o'clock. Zealots streaming their way up, but are they going to make it past the mines? Made it past the mines, not going to make it past the vultures here. There's GG. Unco takes it 2-0 in the opening Swiss bracket. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.